Isn't it strange? Some of the most thoughtful, careful, and deeply aware people we know are often the most exhausted. And it's not because they're doing too much, it's because they're thinking too much. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on the hidden psychology of this very experience. I mean, have you ever found yourself replaying a simple conversation from hours ago? Or mapping out these intricate scenarios that, well, they might never even happen? Have you ever just laid there, wide awake at 2 in the morning, not because anything is wrong, but because your brain just refuses to stop asking that one simple question: what if? If that sounds familiar, then you felt it. You've been right in the middle of this central paradox that we're diving into. It's this hidden conflict that really lives at the very heart of a thoughtful mind. And this, right here, this is the core of it all. The very quality that allows you to be so careful, so considerate, to connect so deeply with others, is the exact same engine that can leave you feeling completely and utterly depleted. So what's actually going on inside the mind of someone who thinks this much? Let's, for a moment, look at the wiring diagram, the neurological schematics that are powering all of this constant activity. Psychologists have a term for this pattern: maladaptive rumination. Now, what studies from places like Yale and the University of Michigan are showing is that this isn't some kind of weakness, not at all. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's the result of a brain that is exceptionally good at its job. It's always scanning, always processing, always looking for patterns. The problem isn't the intelligence, it's that the system never gets the signal that it's okay to stop. And neurologically, you can think of it as this two-part system that it refuses to shut down. You've got the prefrontal cortex. That's kind of like your brain's CEO, in charge of all the planning and analysis, and it just stays switched on. And at the exact same time, you've got the default mode network, which is like the brain's background operating system, and it just keeps generating that quiet, or sometimes not so quiet, internal monologue. So in both of these systems, the CEO and all that background chatter are running on overdrive with absolutely no break in sight. The outcome is a state of constant mental alertness. The result is a mind that's always on, always auditing reality, always drafting responses to conversations that haven't even happened. There's no off switch. But what's really fascinating here is that this pattern, this always online state, it usually doesn't just appear in adulthood out of nowhere. For so many, this is a story that started a long, long time ago. Think about it. When a child grows up in an environment where things feel just a little uncertain, or maybe where small mistakes have really big consequences, that young brain learns a very logical survival strategy. Think ahead, anticipate everything, because if you can just predict what's coming next, maybe, just maybe, you can protect yourself. And when you see it through that lens, it's not a personal failing, is it? It's the result of a very smart nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do to keep you safe. But here's where it gets nuanced, because not all overthinking is created equal. Psychologists have found that it is absolutely crucial to understand the difference between two very distinct types of internal processing. See, on one side, you have what's called reflective rumination. This is when you turn inward to understand yourself, to make sense of things, and it can actually be a real strength. But on the other side, you have brooding rumination. This is when you just dwell on a problem, spin in your wheels without any forward movement. This is the spiral that leads to anxiety, to paralysis. And the real danger is just how easily one can slide into the other. And this is exactly why it's so hard to just stop thinking. It's a chemical trap. As your brain starts to analyze a scenario, it releases these tiny amounts of dopamine. It's a reward for the act of problem solving itself. This creates what's called the illusion of mental progress. You feel like you're getting somewhere, even if you're just going in circles. And that feeling creates a chemical incentive to just keep the whole cycle going. So, okay, we know this pattern is exhausting. We kind of know where it comes from. But what does it actually reveal about the person who's experiencing it? Well, the answer is probably not what you expect. Beyond all the anxiety and the mental exhaustion, what does this constant, relentless analysis really signify? And here's where things get really interesting. A 2013 study in the journal Psychological Science found a pretty surprising connection. They discovered that people who reported higher levels of this rumination, this overthinking, also scored significantly higher on measures of cognitive empathy, which is the ability to accurately understand and even anticipate what other people might be thinking or feeling. And this is the point that changes everything. The very same mental engine that drives them towards exhaustion is also what makes them more sensitive to social cues, more attuned to the unspoken emotional energy of a room. It's an incredible gift of perception, but perception without resolution is exhausting. And that is the tension they live with every single day.
So you see, the goal can't be to just silence the thoughts. That's a battle you'll never win. Instead, what modern therapy focuses on is changing your relationship to them.
There's a powerful concept from acceptance and commitment therapy called cognitive diffusion. It's not about fighting your thoughts. It's about learning to see them for what they are, just thoughts. Noticing the thought loop without getting tangled up inside of it. And this is what that shift looks like in practice. On one hand, you can be fused with the thought, pulled right in. This situation is dangerous. But with diffusion, you create just a little bit of distance. My brain is generating a concern right now. You see the difference? The first one pulls you into the storm. The second one, it gives you a fraction of space. It gives you room to breathe. And maybe that's the most profound understanding of all. Overthinking isn't some defect you need to fix. It's a highly active mind that learned it had to stay alert to stay safe. And so the real challenge isn't to shut it down, but to gently and with great patience, finally teach that mind that it is safe enough to rest.